Altcoins crash more as Bitcoin drops? Is that what's going on in the charts right now? In this episode of the Patron Bull Market Watch, we're going to scan all the markets and see what the altcoins are doing right now as Bitcoin has just topped out a little bit. Before we jump in, I'll ask you to pause the video and read through the disclaimer because this is not trading advice, just market commentary. Let's see how this is working out now. First, I'll say hi in the chat. Hello. We're looking at the price of Bitcoin on the 1 minute bars, Tether US dollar on Binance. Generally, the price of Bitcoin. And in this episode, we're going to go through all of the coins you see down below here. And we're going to just quickly scan through those in the next 30 minutes to see if all of those color-coded signals there are still correct. I did those first thing this morning, just before Bitcoin topped out and started coming back. But as we saw in some of these coins, there was a disturbance in many of these coins. As Bitcoin came back, Ethereum came back lower too. Litecoin came back lower as well. So we had Bitcoin going up and altcoins going down. Here's the price of Bitcoin. And if I go over here and pick up Litecoin, you can see here as Bitcoin went up, Litecoin's going down. Then as Bitcoin goes down, Litecoin goes down even more. So this is a real kicker twice for all those altcoin bag holders. I'm one of us. And eventually this will turn around, we keep saying. So the purpose of this stream is to go through and to pull together this data. So now we've been doing the bull market watch for a while, if you've been following along here with me. Oh, I didn't send that out. And what we've been doing is updating the Poloniex spreadsheet here for months, watching for the bottom formation. As you may know, let's go back to the cover page here. Just if you're new to the stream and you're following along for this first time, we're going through all of those altcoins and we're grading them against our trading plan. The trading plan is the simple trading plan from my book. And it is a trend reversal trading plan that doesn't take a lot of time to manage. It doesn't take a lot of time to trade. And this is what we're going through on a daily basis to review it and to be sure that we're tracking it out properly. So here we have the results of it, where we have gray means neutral. Basically, you shouldn't be trading this market. It's gray. The only market you should be trading outside of Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin is something that is turning from yellow to green. Yellow means pay attention. Green means it's going past our trading signal. So there's all sorts of details on how to enter properly into any of these trades. And that's not included here in this spreadsheet. This is just a bullishness index that we can get overall. And it's clear to see here how this helped us out early in February and how we were able to identify all of these great trade entries. And if I go to the alerts package results, I'll talk about that stuff in a second. The results that we got through December, January, and February were outstanding because we followed this plan. And it got us out of the market in March and completely into Bitcoin at the beginning of April, which turns out to be the ideal thing to do because Bitcoin went up and all the alts got hammered. Now we're watching for when to get back in. When are the alts going to give us some of these returns again? So the purpose of this stream, and I got to do it quick because I only have 30 minutes. Hey there, Sohal Khan. Good to have you along. I'm going to drag this back. Now, what I've done with the bull market watch is I've expanded it now. This worked so well for our markets on Poloniex. It's fantastic, but Poloniex didn't really do the bull market that we had over on Binance. And it has a limited number of coins, and it's mostly for the US audience, whereas Binance has more coins, it has more activity, more volatility, and a chances to make some profits. And so now I'm starting this entire same thing on a daily basis over on Binance for every single one of the coins going on there. And you can see there's 150 odd coins right now traded on Binance. And when we get down to the end of the study, at the end of today, there were 2 of them marked hold status and only 5 of them that were alerts. Everything else right now, when I first did that study, was a near fail or already failing down to new lows and not near ready to be making a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So we're going to follow along with the simple trading plan, and we're going to review the Poloniex markets here quickly, and I'll update the spreadsheet where it needs to be changed here for Poloniex. Now let's browse through these charts. If you have a specific chart you would like me to check out while we're online, you can put it into the chat and I'd be happy to do it for you. It is 1:45 in the afternoon here in Central Time, North America. Let me know where in the world you're from that this time frame worked out that you could be on the live stream. If you have any questions at all, you can come and join us on our Discord chat. The Discord chat is where you find the most information continually being updated. No charge to join, and you can really check out what's going on there. Let me share that link in the correct chat here. And that is also testing out the chat. The damn chat isn't coming up on the scene here. Oh, there's a hello. And I'm getting a whirly circle on my stream. Is the stream pausing? Let me know if the stream is pausing. Hey, from Pacific Time Zone, Seattle. Yes, we'll take a look at Ripple for sure. I'm getting the whirly gig on my stream there. So let me know if that's showing up. And I don't know why the chat isn't pulling in and showing on the screen as we're chatting. Let me double check that one more time. Chat box. Source. Refresh the cache of the source. It sort of comes up there for a second. I don't get it. So I'll continue on because I've only got 30 minutes. We're looking at the chart of Ardor. And so Ardor can't change from being a fail in the spreadsheet. Can we see those? Is it a good time to buy some coin right now? This is a question that we had in the chat. And the only way to tell is to do it. The only way you can tell is to buy it. And then if it goes up, it was the right time. I try to limit it to a specific time in the charts. And that's what we're going over here now, is to find out, is it the time in the charts? First of all, we had a request for XRP. So let me scroll all the way down there and do that one because I've already filled this out. XRP, definitely not time to be buying XRP. This hasn't made a bottom formation and turned around. So we want to wait. It's killer, but you got to wait till it makes a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and breaks above. This is the time to buy. Other than that, it's stand aside and find a different market. It may not be that cryptocurrencies are the market to trade right now. Gold and silver and platinum and things like that are taking off, and cryptocurrencies are going down. So first XRP. Now I'll go and take a look at Litecoin, and that's against US dollar. Let me filter this. Litecoin. So no, it's not time to buy Litecoin either. The time to have purchased Litecoin, of course it's easy to see in the past, but we actually did it, is when it makes the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So this was part of our alerts package that we did this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation right here as it broke out. Now it would take me let me go to a 4-hour chart. Zoom back. This was a trading signal right here as well. So it takes a while for these correct trading signals to shape up, even though you could flip a coin. Heads I buy, tails I sell. If it's not proven me correct in 30 minutes, I get out of the trade. If it's proved me correct after 30 minutes, I add on to the trade. Move your stop loss above your entry when you're profitable. And there's a trading system that'll actually work statistically. Hey, from Bulgaria. Good to have you here, Tudor. And Michael, I'll check out Theta. We're checking out Litecoin right now. And what I want to point out is the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Look at this from the 11th to the 13th to the 15th, and the trading signal came out on the 16th. So we had to watch like crazy from the 7th. Look at that jump up and then back down, up and then back down. I don't want to get into any of that stuff. I want to wait for it to settle and turn directions. Then I know it's going my way, and I'm not just gambling on being at the right time. I want to step back, and even then I want to get in with a part of my trade here, and then I want to wait until I see this ascending wedge triangle, and then I add on the second part of my trade. When I add on the second part, I can add on a big part of my trade because I've already got a bit of a cushion down here. If it does pull back, I've got some profits to protect me basically. And even this was difficult to trade. It would have pulled back and kicked me out on my stop loss because I would have put my stop loss above my entry and I would have to get back in again. So getting a good entry and keeping it is difficult. It is a very difficult thing. So you get in with a small bit of your trade, add on to it, keep your stop losses back until it's profitable. Then you can leave your stop losses wider as it's going up. We'll talk about those as they come along. If I zoom into the 1-day view of Litecoin and I'm a gambler, then this is starting to make a 1, 2, 3 formation. Not done yet. We have the downtrend line. We have the one that is pulled up. It's got to make another attempt at it and fail. Right? That's the purpose of this trading system, is the failed retest of a recent high or low. Made the low, fail the retest and break higher. There's our signal. And it doesn't matter what time frame you're on. You could be doing this on the 1 minute time frame. If you were Johnny on the spot and you were watching this, the low, it came back and retested that low and failed. There's your buy signal right there. It even came back and tested our number 2 point and gave us another chance to be able to buy in as it's going up. Now I would have my stop loss above my entry and I'm just sitting pretty. Hold your winners and see if this is the lucky moment to have bought in at this time, and it's going to continue on from here. Hope that helps out. So we've got a couple of requests here for TOMO, Nulls, Neo, Aunt, and BNB. Sure, let's go over some of those. I don't know TONO. TONO. Not in my favorites. I don't know it at all, actually. I can't access it. Well, I can't spell. This is it. It's always been one of my problems. There, look at that. On the 1 minute bar, it has certainly bottomed as Bitcoin came down and bounced really opposite to Bitcoin. And this is what I was expecting to see in the alts on the immediate term. If I go back out to the 3-month view, this is starting to set up into a trading pattern that I like because it's got the low. It came to higher lows here. So now it's retested that low and has bounced off of it. So it's rejected that low. And it's giving us a nice clear area to start thinking about putting on a trade. The trick of putting on a trade is it a fake out breakout that's going to continue on the downtrend? We've had so many of these that you've got to be aware of them. 6 out of 10 times, a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation will be a fake out breakout and it'll come back and hit your stops. So you have to start off small on this, or instead of trying to jump onto this kind of move, anticipate, let it go to an ascending wedge triangle, or on the breakout, wait for it to come back and retest. So then we know it's not just a bot excitement and everybody's all excited jumping onto that trade, but it's not real. It's not got the actual force. This is the kind of moment that I'm watching for and waiting for, and then I document them in these spreadsheets so that we can see them. Now, this spreadsheet is awesome. It's general, and it doesn't give you the kind of details that you actually really need to trade. To get these kind of results, the 240, 825%, you really have to break it down into more of a study. So here we have 5 months of our trading data uncovered. Every single one of our trading signals published from December till the beginning of April is all organized, categorized, so that we can find the most optimized approach for using these trading signals. And this single report is phenomenal because it keeps you out of things you shouldn't be into. And we help to identify those both are trading alert spreadsheet where you get the actual entry and exit, the profits and the profit target, the potential stop loss, risk, all the details all included in the trade information, rather than just giving you generals for color coding. Let's go on to another one. Nulls, Neo, and ONT. Actually, before we go there, since we're at KuCoin, I want to look at KCS. Now, this is a pattern of a real nice buildup. First of all, we've got our 1, 2, 3 bottom form. I love this kind of stuff. Look at this. There's our bottom formation consolidation. It came up and broke a little bit. Now we have a new consolidation building at the number 3 point of a larger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that's taken all of May and June and July to set up. Now, this is a similar business pattern plan to Binance Coin, using it for their exchange. And KuCoin is now opening up KuMex, where people who are holding KCS will be earning premium or dividends because they are part holders or something with KuMex. So as KuMex is making money, like BitMEX, I think they're making money, this is going to go up. So this is a really fantastic chart formation. And I'm glad you brought me over to KuCoin because I don't go over here and look at this often. I bought some and I'm just sitting on it. And I think that in 2 years, it'll be insane, the percentage gains I get on that. Now, I want to go over to Nulls, NLMN. Well, ONT was on the list. And it's here first. Well, ONT is definitely not making a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So part of what we're doing is hunting for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. True enough, they are very powerful. You can see that when they break out, it is significant. It's important to pay attention to. However, the 1, 2, 3 top formation is really key as well. So I had a guy chatting in our Discord chat, and he's asking me about the alerts package, and he says he'd like to try some of the signals for a while, and if it's working for him, then he wants to learn more about the trading system. And I sort of joked saying it's kind of like saying I will take piloting lessons after my first successful flight. And you're going to be dead after your first flight because you didn't learn how to land before you took off the plane. And it's the same thing with these trades. If you don't know exactly when you're getting out and why, and you got to practice it ahead of time, right? You don't learn about landing the plane after you've taken off. You got to practice that over and over and over so you know what to do in every different circumstance of where you may need to land that plane. Otherwise, you're dead, and so is everybody else on the plane. So learning how to land, learning how to get out of the trade is as critical as getting into it. So now we're all looking at, should I get in? Should I get in? It is making the potential 1, 2, 3 formation. It really could be. And from the studies, let me go back to that. From these studies here, after we went through all of these trades, we are looking to see what's the percentage win of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on a 1 hour time frame, or 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on a 4 hour time frame versus the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on a 12 hour time frame. And the results are astonishing. So it keeps me stepping back when I see a chart like this. I just go, okay, it's got some time to mature before it's going to be going the other direction, right? It's going to come down. It's going to bounce around a bit. It's going to consolidate, and then it's going to go. Even if it's going to bounce off like a capitulation low and blast straight higher, it's going to make a little tiny 1, 2, 3 over the next couple days. And on average, we're going to see them across all of the coins at the same time. So there's no need to FOMO on this, on the next bull market coming in. We can see from this example that we had from the reds and the oranges, we had several days, 2 weeks, a week and a half to get prepared. A whole bunch of things went into alert status before they went into buy status. There was lots of time. So there's no need to FOMO in and to buy and try to pick the very bottom. It could be the perfect moment. And you could just blow me away in trading percentage gains right now if you're buying in on these, but I'm waiting. ONT, let's go look at Neo, nulls. Let me get rid of that. Down Neo. And if there's anyone on the stream who has not subscribed before, click on the subscribe button for me, please. I am testing out the Streamlabs OBS, and it should do a song and dance. Hey, look at this. The chat is coming up. Awesome. But the screen should do a song and dance when somebody subscribes during the live stream. Neo is more interesting because it's making a double bottom. So that gives a whole bunch more weight to whatever is happening over on this side to me. So if I zoom right in on there now to see it, it's still not enough. It's got the downtrend line to break first of all, then it's got to make the 1, 2, 3, and at least on some time frame, the exponential moving average has to cross over. When I'm doing my own trading, I also look at my my indicator suite. So I'll look through the relative strength index, and then I'll switch and I'll look at the on balance volume. This is Bitcoin prices, 5-minute view on balance volume. So heavy dump, less dump, less dump. And if I go to the 5-minute view of MACD, this had a positive crossover over here, and now it's going to a negative crossover. I think it's going down more. So when I'm making a trading decision, not only do I get down to the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and zoom in to see if it is the moment to, I'm also then checking against my indicators to be sure that everything is telling me the same thing. Everything should be telling me the same thing if it is actually the time to trade, and it should prove me correct within 30 minutes, an hour. And if it isn't, I'm probably not right and I shouldn't be holding it. So all of these things, they're going to be whipping around so much, it's way too early for any of these right now. What was the other one? BNB, Neo, ONT, nulls. No, I want to see nulls too. I'm glad you bring these things up because I did go through all of these, all of them, and gave them all a grade for their trade. You can see the colors: red, orange, red, blue, like get out. What's that? What is that? Where'd it go? HC. So nulls, nothing going on. But HC said to get out. What was that? HC. So I go into the 3-month view of HC. There it is. So when this exponential moving average crosses over on the 4-hour time frame, it's time to get out. We can also see the 1, 2, 3 top formation and the break of the uptrend line. So all of these 3 things said, get out. And we had a really great trade entry on this. It was really time to get out. Now we'll watch it and see if it produces a consolidation that might be a trend continuation formation, because it's one of the few coins that went up with Bitcoin. Is it going to lead Bitcoin? You know, it started going up the run before Bitcoin did and then broke lower before Bitcoin. Let's pay attention to that. That's cool. All right, let's go Litecoin. Theta. Michael wants to look at Theta. I still missed one. BNB. It's closer alphabetically. BNB. All right, now I was expecting BNB to do something earlier, actually, as I saw this coming up, and it was making 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and consolidating. I thought, oh, here it goes. But it went all right, but down to what are new lows now for this trend. So we're way back down to here, support and resistance wise. A really good place, actually, support and resistance wise, all the way back. So that makes this moment that much more important. So I zoom in on it, zoom in on it, zoom in again, and now you can see the pattern shaping up. There's a few patterns shaping up here. And it's great to see the patterns actually play out after you specify and clarify exactly what pattern you're going to take an action on. Then you see the pattern play out. It's always fun. It's always great fun. So here we have 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, break of the downtrend line, exponential moving average crossover on the 15-minute time frame. You certainly can trade these, especially when Bitcoin is now, you see in the background here, Bitcoin prices are easing off even more. This is probably going to blast. Many of them that are doing this formation right now are probably going to blast. and you could trade them. This is the trading system here. It matches. But the trouble is you've got to be babysitting this thing really, really close, because so often these short time frame things pop up and then jump right back down. So if you do get into some of these trades, put your stop loss above your entry as soon as the price gives you enough room to do that. Protect your assets and move the stop loss up afterwards. And in the next few streams, we'll talk about when to add on to these positions as they unfold. So for my own part, I'm not trading it. I'm watching it. It could be the moment, but I'm waiting for more development and change of direction so that I'm not jumping on a wave that pulls back. I'm waiting for the tide to turn. And I know the tide is coming in. I can just casually walk over and sit on the boat. I don't have to rush back and forth with all the waves. My idea anyway, and it's worked out well. Theta. Theta. Theta is a better chart because of how slowly it's been easing off here this way. So its US dollar value is likely rising very nicely. This is Bitcoin dominance easing off, but I can look at Theta. Theta US dollar. 6-month view. So we can see a beautiful uptrend in Theta US dollar. Really beautiful lows here, higher lows, consolidating, beautiful here in Theta US dollar. Then if we look at Theta versus Bitcoin, I got to go back to that one. What time frame was this? 240. So that's 4-hour time frame. Here's the 4-hour time frame in Bitcoin. So like many of the others, it's making higher lows in US dollar. So it's rising in value in US dollar, but Bitcoin is going up so much faster. This is going backwards. So it looks like this is actually losing value, and it is not. Since we are having that breakout in the US dollar formation that looks so fantastic, then this becomes that much more juicy. And what we have here is a springboard trade entry. And you're probably, if you're sitting there and you are pointing this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation out, you're correct. And if you see that this is a larger 1, 2, 3, and this is the number 3 point right here, you're also correct. Those are. So we have a number 1 point here. We have a number 2 point. Then we have this number 3 point that actually kind of is its own little 1, 2, 3 within it, right? We've got a 1, 2, 3 within this on one side. And then we have the larger 1, 2, 3 shaping up here. So because we have all of those things setting up, and the US dollar is looking like it's going to be breaking out higher, it gives this trade on Theta much more credibility. I know that if I go and take a look at the RSI, we're going to, and we do, we can see higher lows in the RSI and flat on the bottom. So it's not much of a divergence here on the 4-hour time frame, but that's every little bit there is important to look at. And if I was trading this, and I would also go and look at the on-balance volume, Binance, BTC, Theta. Okay, it's not marked. It's one of my favorites. Theta. 4-hour time frame. All right, so this is where I'm starting to look to see the on-balance volume. What are you doing on this time frame? If I can zoom into the 1-hour time frame, it's still not really giving me the as much bullishness as I want out of this to really convince me that it has stopped here and is going up the other direction. So it is a potential place for sure at this breakout. Then, of course, it would be really good to go and look at Theta with the MACD indicator. Theta. Oh, there's my timer. So I'm running out of time. Because we can see here in the MACD, it's crossed over positive. It's looking positive. This is on the 1-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we have a cross to the positive here. That's great. Then it's come and crossed over to the positive right now, which is also great. So I'm liking theta. This is really setting up to be nice, but it doesn't match the simple trading plan yet. Because at this time, these markets often spike and then they pull back. And if Bitcoin isn't done going to the moon yet, we could be into one of these that looks so fantastic. Even this looks fantastic on the 12-hour time frame. The exponential moving average crossed over. It would have gotten us into this trade, and we have to be ready to get out of it that quickly. And it's a real bummer because you think you're right, and then it's hard to get rid of it. Or you think you're right and you put on a bigger trade than you should have, and then it's harder to get rid of it because you're holding a bigger loss. And you know that eventually it'll come back up, so you keep holding the bag. And it would have been better to have been getting rid of it and hold Bitcoin and buy it again now. So start small, wait for it to turn around, and then even then we've got to be super ready, because too many times that formation of the 1, 2, 3 breaks out and then pulls back. It is what happens when the markets turn around, but it is what happens as the markets are going down and consolidating, going down and consolidating. And right now these markets are going down and Bitcoin is going up. So I'm super careful about these bottom formations now. I want to step back to the lesser risk setup. Now I saw a note there. ETH and US dollar are doing better. So let me go to Bitfinex, get rid of Bitcoin, and I can go to Ethereum Bitcoin. Oh. Didn't do well, and I wasn't expecting that. It's still at the edge of these bottoms here, but I really was expecting these bottoms to hold. I wasn't expecting that to break. So if I zoom in, we can see we've got the lower highs. It held the bottom for a while, but then once it broke, down it went. Then we can look at ETH US dollar, and it also broke right here. So it didn't do as well as Bitcoin took off. That's what made Ethereum break down first. And then it broke down as Bitcoin went down. So a real double hammer there. However, for the long-term look at Ethereum, it is insane. Everybody's talking about, is Ethereum dead in the water? They were all saying the same thing during April, throughout March, for sure, in Bitcoin prices. Everybody was poo-hooing it, not sure if that was going to break out or not, and crazy. Ethereum's going to do the same thing. And Litecoin is going to do the same thing. We're going to have some volatility, but in the long term, Litecoin is going to be going $1,200 again for sure. And long term, I mean the next few months, the next 3 months. We may have to pull back a little bit, but there will be a bull market that comes that takes Ethereum and Litecoin way past the moon. It's the shift of the economy. And if you've been watching the stream, I bring up all of the world's money in one visualization chart. You can Google it. All of the world's money in one visualization. And you can scroll down that page. You'll see that if one of those rows of money moves over and turns into cryptocurrencies, all of these things are going to be worth $1 trillion in market cap, not just a couple $100 billion that it is now. And it's on its way. We know that the banking system can't work. The debt system can't work. This is the global financial system that is changing everything. So buying and holding, buying and lending is a very good idea when the bottom formations are telling us to. This is a top formation here in the US dollar value on the 1-day view. So we have a 1, 2, 3 top formation. We have it coming up to making head and shoulders, and got to pay attention to those. And then what? Absolutely could be. And that's only that's now till September. That would be a kind of a drag, actually. And certainly could be. Absolutely. So this is Ethereum versus US dollar. Ethereum versus Bitcoin is going to probably do the opposite thing. Insane. We'll have to watch how that plays out. Phenomenal. ICX. Hey, I like this, just going randomly around and checking them out. I went and did the report earlier. I already finished up this report for Poloniex and for Binance. Which one's this? This is Poloniex. There was one of them a hold, and that was Bitcoin. There's two of them as alerts, 9 of them as near fails, and 34 markets as fails. Only 7 of them were neutral. So it's very, very bearish right now, according to the simple trading plan. Now, let's go take a look at ICX. Filter by Bitcoin. Get rid of that. I got to know my alphabet better by scrolling back and forth on this. Bottom formation. The volume under here is crazy. I really thought that this was going to be taking off way more than it did, as this volume was coming up underneath it. But then, as everything else did, Bitcoin dominance crushed it. If we look at the US dollar value for this, it's probably holding pretty steady. I got to do it now. ICX US dollar. I think this is estimated. So yeah, it's pretty much holding steady. April, May, June, July. It's not, it's got some variability in there. It's not steady for sure if I zoom in on it. But relative to what the Bitcoin value is, where'd we go? Too many charts. ICX. So all the way through this part, April, May, June, July, it's all like essentially steady in the US dollar value. But because Bitcoin went up so much, then this measured against Bitcoin is less. That just tells us that we should have been holding Bitcoin instead of ICX. Holding ICX keeps the same number of dollars in your pocket, but holding Bitcoin would have put more dollars in your pocket. That's all that says. And we're going to continue watching the Bitcoin market cap to say, yeah, put all the money from Bitcoin now into altcoins. That could insert absolutely be. That's what I'm watching for. On the 1-day view, this looks good. So now if I zoom into the 12-hour time frame, we've got a triple bottom at the minimum. Well, it kind of went down to new lows here, which spoils it. That makes it a whole brand new number 1 point there. You can sort of fudge it and ignore it. Sure, if it breaks above these technical levels, I would just sort of round it out and say it's okay. And I would treat this the same, where you buy on the breakout or you wait for it to come back and retest on the top and then buy on strength, which is always a good strategy, because there's so many bots that are buying on these breakouts now that we get these fake out breakouts. They look fantastic, and if you FOMO into that, you're fearing missing out on the trade. You jump into it, it looks so good, and then it pulls back and you sell out. Damn it! And you're taking up, going slower, waiting for it, starting smaller and building on will be the thing that makes the money. So it is shaping up. And if I go into the 1-day view, you betcha, if you are able to trade these kind of time frames, that you'll recognize this pattern. I didn't make up the pattern. I learned it, and I practice it, and I'm teaching it. And by teaching it and doing these videos over and over and over again, I'm rebuilding this into my own neural matter so that I can take action on these things when it's the right time to. And some of these I do trade. I do see them coming. They're a market I've been watching. I see everything all changing directions, and I do take these trades. But for the stuff I'm teaching here, the statistics shows me that if you're not able to be there to watch that trade and babysit it, it's okay. You can just sit back to the 12-hour time frame. There's lots and lots of profit to be made. If you had gone short here, lots of time, and the exponential moving averages didn't cross over again. You could just take an action here, take an action there. There's nothing for you to do, but just wait for these action points. Action, oh, get out. Try it again, then get out. Wait for it. It'll come to us, and then it'll give us lots of time to stay in that trade. It'll keep us into the trade on the uptrend just as much as it's kept us out of it on the downtrend. That's such a good chart. Does it work as the same against the US dollar? All of this trading signal works no matter what you're trading. It doesn't matter what the market is. If I go to, where's my 4 chart thing? I don't have one open. Here it is. This is great because I can just type in silver. Grab the continuous front running contract. Open this up. Let's go. Well, this is the daily view. Zoom it back, and it looks like a crypto chart on a short-term time frame. Right there's our huge blow-off top, and Bitcoin hasn't given us the blow-off top yet. So all of these altcoin bottoms are really scary because when Bitcoin does the blow-off top, we don't know what's going to happen with the alts. But here we can see the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up. It's taken years for it to shape up. Years. We had little 1, 2, 3, and then the top formation was confirmed. The uptrend line was broken. You know, the exponential moving average would have crossed over, kept us out of the market all this time, waiting and waiting and waiting. Same thing. It works no matter what the market. Doesn't matter if it's US dollar or Bitcoin. The reason we look at cryptos versus Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million each, and the dollar isn't. Some people say Bitcoin isn't going up, actually. Bitcoin isn't going up. It's staying still. The fiat currency is falling that fast underneath it. So that's why I measure against Bitcoin, because that's the mummy, that's the daddy, it's the granddad of all of the currencies in the world now, even though it hasn't been heralded as it. You and I both know, as this is all happening, it's not done yet. And all the alts are going to be swept along with that too. If the Deutsche Bank in Germany starts to crash, all the money is going to go into where there's some future. And this is the only stuff. All right. So if there's anybody who hasn't subscribed, hey, good to have you along. What's up with my chat here? My chat is not working. Okay, there we go. Oh, I see what the trouble is. Let's see what I can do here. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. That's part of it. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, so that fits in there better. And of course, I've got the wrong chart over here now. That was silver and gold prices as well. Back to this one, back to Bitcoin, and zooming in on this. I want to zoom out to a 30-minute view to what I'm looking for in Bitcoin now. It's making potential head and shoulders top formation on this side. And so now that it's come here, and it hasn't broken yet. You know, if it's breaking more, then that's going to change this whole chart completely. But I'm anticipating it's going to hold here. The bulls are not done yet. They're going to retest these levels, and should we come up here and make a 1, 2, 3, this is going to be a really great place to be taking part of your profits, considering a short position, and considering how you would add on to a short position if you've got skill with doing short positions. There's a whole bunch of preparation. Again, it's like flying an airplane where you better know how to land when this goes against you before you get into the trade. So you have to know everything that could go wrong and what you're going to do exactly before you get into a trade. Then you're ready for whatever happens as it goes out. And if you don't have that plan, then be sure to come over to our Discord chat and follow along with this, because as we go through this, that's what I'm talking about, is exactly what's going on throughout this whole period of the trade. Yeah, so Michael asked, good question. Is the trading method based on accumulating Bitcoin? For sure, accumulating Bitcoin. Definitely accumulating Bitcoin. And always paying attention to the price of Bitcoin versus US dollar, because even now you've got to cash it out generally to US dollar, to some money format before you can actually spend it. There's some debit cards that you can spend your Bitcoin, but it's changing it behind the scenes into fiat currency and then paying the merchant on your behalf. It's not actually paying them in Bitcoin for most of the part. So just watching what's going on here on this is a 5-minute bar on the Ichimoku cloud. So it's definitely below the cloud on the 5-minute bars. Really crashed below the 15-minute. And this morning when I did the video, it was above this. It was looking positive. It was all looking good. And then immediately changed. As soon as that broke that trend line and broke that 1, 2, 3 top formation, that is the signal. All right, so if there's anyone there who's not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button while we're live. I want to test to see the dancing animation that happens. I want to test to be sure that everything's working. Some of the big markets that I'm interested in most are those that are super leveraged, traded over on BitMEX. So we got TRX, a great market to trade. We've got Litecoin over there. We've got Ethereum, and we've got ADA. And these made some phenomenal bottom formations in December. Really great consolidation, easy to pick add-on place in this trade. It made it such a trend line and a top formation that there was 2 different places to get out of this trade all the way down. Now it's come down to a brand new number 1 point that it hasn't been at before. And you can see here, it broke that trend line and right now is giving a potential entry signal. If you are trading and available for this, this would be the break of it's a little tiny 1, 2, 3. The consolidation here and the shape it's made is potential for it. But on the 5-minute time frame, it's not something that I trade myself. So I'll wait for this to shape up into a bigger formation that's telling me that it's actually changed direction and going the other direction. So I want it to break this downtrend line. I want the 1, 2, 3 formation to set up, and I want the exponential moving averages to cross over. And even then, when all that happens, there's times where I'm not going to take the trade on the breakout. I'm going to wait for it to come back and retest those levels, and then I'm going to buy into it. So there's quite a bit of waiting time yet. Even though, and it may be that you got into this trade now and you're way ahead of me, you're up, what would that be? You pretty much doubled your money by the time I'm looking to get into it. Right? You'd be up 40% and I'm just starting, if you're correct. But every one of these, you could be buying into it and it's bounce, bounce, bounce up. But Bitcoin's not done yet, so I'm waiting for the alts to make a more full bottom and Bitcoin to be making a more full and complete top. So it's got to come back and be doing something while these are also coming up. Now we're singing. Now we're into altcoin happy land. All right, I'm way over my time. I enjoyed going through this stuff. I like you guys just throwing out markets to go over. And it'll be much the same story tomorrow when we go through this. I'm going to be adding on some different sections to the trading, to these channels, so that we're not just reviewing the charts and talking about the chart patterns, but there's more to setting up your trading correctly than just finding the entry point. That's the small part of it. And so I want to create a section of the live stream that is ongoing from day to day and builds up on a sequence. So for the next 3 months, I want to go over a specific series of training that not only is helpful for me and is parallel to the financial education that I'm improving for myself, but will be helpful for anybody who is along a similar path. And since I would say 90% of us have a bad relationship with money, we are angry about it, we're resentful about it, we're negative about it, we're anxious about it, we don't have enough of it, we don't feel abundance, we feel a lack, we're always looking to how to... This, I think, is going to be more important than actual trading signals for success with money. And that certainly was the case for me. I had to overcome some difficulties with the way I was feeling about money before I started to have success with my trading and success with my investing. And so I want to go over some of that stuff. And I don't watch a lot of other people's YouTube streams because I'm busy doing my own trading, busy doing my own streams, and I'm continually updating over 250 markets for our alerts spreadsheet so that we are tracking the exact entry point, the target for our profits, the stop losses, the risk to reward ratio, and then monitoring them. When we do get a trade, I am monitoring them and moving the stop loss up above our entry so that when things do, when we get the stop loss order, when it's been triggered, it's protecting our assets. So it's a continual bunch of work. I don't watch a lot of other people's streams, but I hope that the stuff I'm putting together here that helps me is also helpful for you. I guess it would be, but you wouldn't be watching. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you tweeting out the video. It is a focus in these videos because I'm going over this very same trading plan over and over and over again. So I hope it filters out a whole bunch of the entertainment chaff and gets right down to the point of making money, the data. It is not as glamorous and exciting, but I think that by adding different sections to this stream and making it so that it's more of a financial education stream as well as when to buy cryptocurrencies, I think it'll be more valuable in the long term. Certainly will help me become more wealthy. And really, that's the point of the stream, is so that I'm improving my own trading, I'm improving my own view of the entire markets, and I hope it helps a whole bunch of people benefit as well. Certainly if you were in our Discord chat, I was posting this as it was happening, talking about the 1, 2, 3 pattern. As it was deepening, we were talking about it. We were identifying this, saying that this is a part of a position to be feathering out your trade. Here's another moment to be feathering out your trade in Bitcoin and to be stepping back on it. If you were in earlier and you're looking for where to take profit, these are the kind of moments that you've got to be aware of. Well, we got an error in the stream, and I don't know. I got to check my internet. It doesn't seem to be streaming as fast as it should be. So I'll sign off for here, and thank you guys for being along. Time for me to get on to the next part. Ciao for now. All the best in your cryptocurrency trading.